Hello, and welcome to a brand new drafting channel called How Not to Draft. I am Jethro, and I aim to teach you how to draft Return to Ravnica by taking you through all the things you should not be doing. So the first thing you should not be doing when drafting is be recording it, because that way the packs will load really, really slowly, and the amount of time you have to make your picks will be way shorter. So the first thing to note is that this pack is pretty bad. We've missed on the rare with Counterflux. We've missed on the uncommons with Goblin Rally, Tavern Swindler. Is it uncommon? Seriously, this card's terrible. Oh, but luckily someone else is disconnected, which means we're going to get better packs all round. So let's talk about the cards we might pick here. There's Guildgate, which is fine as first picks go. There's a Soulsworn Spirit, which I think is going to be the pick here. I've been killed by this card. And there's a Gorehouse Chainwalker if we just want to be Rakdos. I like taking monocolored cards early in this format, because if you take the monocolored cards early, it keeps you open as to guilds, and then you can wait and pick up on signals. I actually think I'm going to take the Chainwalker here. I like Rakdos a lot more than I like Azorius or Izzet. And while this puts us in either Rakdos or Izzet, it really could go either way. Whereas the Soulsworn Spirit kind of points us more in the Izzet direction. I mean, it could be an Azorius card, technically has Detain written on it. But yeah, I'm just going to take the Chainwalker. And this card's insane in any Rakdos deck. It really is. Just hands with it, so much better than hands without it. And we're rewarded. That's a rewarded? Rewarded? Anyway, that's an Augustbury. I'm not going to do the puns. I'm going to leave the puns to better draft video makers. This is a good pack. I mean, they've taken the rare, so it's not really a signal that we've got the Augustbury here. And I'd quite like to stay monocolored. If there was like an Annihilating Fire in the pack, I'd take the Annihilating Fire over the Augustbury. Not because it's necessarily a better card, they're very similar in terms of power level. The Augustbury can kill something slightly bigger, but the Annihilating Fire exiles things, which is great against Golgari. But because you can then stay monocolored, which I really like. There's two good Rakdos cards here, this one and that one. There's a great Izzet card in Lobber Crew. This card is so much better than I thought it was when the set started. So much better. So the second you start lobbing stuff at them, you've essentially won. Last time I tried to record one of these videos, it didn't go very well, because that's a Sphinx of Chimes. Discarding all the cards. Okay, that's never going to come out. It's a 5/6 flyer for 6. I was beaten to death by this in my last draft. There's also a Gutter Snipe, which I've heard's really good, and stays on colour. So what it would be, we could go Izzet with the Sphinx, and splash black for the Augustbury, or not, you know, depending on whether we see the fixing. Or we could go Gutter Snipe, stick with our gut, pass the Sphinx. I mean, Sphinx third. What's missing from this pack? An uncommon and a common. So we've got to assume the common was a good removal spell. I think I'm going to pass on the Sphinx. I think... No, you can't not pick the Sphinx here. It's a dragon. It's an actual dragon. It's going to win the game if ever you cast it. And immediately we see another Augustbury, and Izzet Guildgate, another Chainwalker. This pack would be so good if we were still on the Rakdos plan, but we're not. And there's an Azul's Elocutors. So I think this boils down to Augustbury, Guildgate, Inaction Injunction, which probably isn't the pick, but is good, and the Elocutors. I love the Elocutors. I've won like 3 games off filibuster counters. It changes the whole way the game plays, and it's really good. And does it suit? I mean, no, I think we're going to take the Augustbury here. And just either abandon the Sphinx, which is fine, we didn't miss out on a ton, or splash them both, because just taking a good removal spell over dorky win conditions is probably the way to go. And yeah, I have a feeling it's the Izzet Guildmage. So we're kind of like a non-red red deck. Yeah, we're not red, but we're in both its guilds. That's what I'm doing. I could take the Electricity and just duck out into Rakdos, but I think the Nivix Guildmage is so good, and so what you want, being Izzet, that, yeah, I mean, Electricity's fine, but it's quite derpy as removal goes. The Shred Freak's not really much of a card. I would rather have almost any Rakdos card in the set than that guy. So this is a pack, a couple of counter spells, a 6-drop, and a Fairy Imposter. Fairy Imposter I'm not convinced by. Nor do I think we need another 6-drop. We've got kind of the 6-drops down. I think it might be the Essence Backlash here. Because at 3 we can kill creatures with Aura Spree. If there was fixing in the pack, I'd take the fixing. Need to look out for fixing, because I'm trying to go 3 colour. But I think I keep playing around Essence Backlash. And I do love having it. It's not as good as I thought it was initially. Well, I built like a deck around it and it was great. But I think it's going to be the Backlash. Just countering their dorks and doing things is something you so want to be doing. Now here's a pick I would not have made when the set first came out. I'm going to pick the Doorkeeper. Because the important thing to remember when drafting Return to Ravnica is that someone is the Rakdos deck, and you will play the Rakdos deck, and every card in your deck needs to be good against the Rakdos deck. So, holy crap, that's a late arrest. Probably shouldn't swear in these videos. That's not a swear word. Holy is not a swear word. That's a really late arrest. Oh, I really can't go 4 colour. Can I go 4 colour? Yeah, I haven't really drafted not green dot 4 colour deck. Let's take the Guildgate. With this format, and that's a super late for an arrest to be going. And it's not as if I'm 4 colours that don't line up quite well in guilds. I've got 3 different guild gates that I can get. See here, normally I'd take the Inaction Injunction over the guild gate, but because I'm erring on the side of 4 colour, I just think I'm going to take the fixing early and look out for the cards later. See here, if I wasn't potentially 4 colour, or probably just 3 colour with the splash for rest, but there's nothing here for us besides the Concordia Pegasus, so we're just going to take the Pegasus. Here we're just going to take Overrun, I think. Yeah, if you haven't played with this card is Overrun, and it just wins games when you're playing as Izzet. I mean, there's still a chance we don't play white at all. Not a very big chance, but it's there. And Teleportal's a great Izzet card. Just great. Here I'm going to take Cobblebrute. I played a deck with 2 Cobblebrutes in my last draft, and I was really impressed with the card. There's a lot of 4 toughness dorks, and just having like a 5/2 can just go over the top on turn 4 is so much better than like a Minotaurs or just an average hill giant. This guy is quite a bit better than the average hill giant. I mean, he looks just different, you know, point of power, point of toughness. But you've got to remember, power is technically worth more than toughness. That's weird art. Yeah, I do not like the flavour on this guy. Some of the streets can move. It doesn't make any sense. If all the streets got up and moved, there'd be no streets left. You know, were some of the streets always elementals and they just woke up? I've seen people playing Barrow's Lizard. I've been beaten by people playing Barrow's Lizard. I don't think I should have, but I have been. So that's a thing that's happened. I'm going to stop the recording in preparation for Pack 2. I'm only allowed to record up to 10 minutes because I was stingy and didn't bother to pay for this recording software, which is fine, you know. I'm happy to have the slightly more awkwardness on the recording.